Forgive me, Lord, because I have sinned. I have sinned before ye. To quote Jimmy Swaggart. So the Episcopal Diocese, or is it the diocese? Never remember how to say it. But the Episcopal Diocese of New York says it is committing $1.1 million toward addressing systemic racism and is launching a Reparations Commission. This is at Yahoo in their Life section. Jurisdiction of Episcopal churches in New York is taking action and apologizing for its role in the transatlantic slave trade. Story here by Andrew M.L. Deitch, last name D-I-E-T-S-C-H-E. The Episcopal Diocese of New York said it is committing $1.1 million toward addressing systemic racism, launching this Reparations Commission to continue accountability and education efforts regarding the impacts of slavery per CBS News. A question here. How is this going to erase what happened in history? I'd really like to know. How is spending $1.1 million, or let's say $5 million in San Francisco, in reparations, how is that going to erase what happened in history? History is what it is. The Diocese on Saturday held an apology service led by Bishop Andrew Deitch at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in Manhattan. Ooh, Northern white guilt, love it. Quote, we are ready now to begin to make tangible investments in African American people and communities as reparations for our history of slavery. But we can't really do that and have it be meaningful unless, at the very beginning, we stop and take a moment and accept accountability. Deitch says, now, wait till you hear his reasoning here. He said the enslaved Africans were forced to construct several New York churches, yet neither they nor their families were granted equal access to practice religion in them even once emancipated. Okay, slavery was wrong, and yes, it's true. We had Jim Crow laws in the North and in the South. But at the same time, there was huge anti-Catholic sentiment in this country against the Irish, even the Italians. Huge anti-Chinese sentiment. So should all these other groups, should they also receive reparations? Now, if you want to put in place incentives to make communities better, I'm all for that. Whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, polka dot, purple, or green. I'm all for that. But let's not try catering to one particular group or the other and have this pity party and be a bunch of sob sisters over something that happened 200, 300 years ago that none of us really have any relation to now. I mean, thank God we don't have slavery or an indentured servitude. Mentioned this before, indentured servitude actually lasted longer than slavery, and you still have slavery in the Sudan. So what about reparations for the people who are slaves in the Sudan today? No. America's guilty. That's what you know. America's guilty. This is all white guilt. That's exactly what this is. According to Gothamist, the Episcopal Church's accountability efforts were kickstarted in 2006 when church leaders officially declared slavery a, quote, sin and issued mandatory directives for churches to begin acknowledgement and reflection efforts regarding the lasting impacts of the slave trade. Why not demand reparations from Africa? Africa played a huge role not only in the Atlantic slave trade, but in the trans-Saharan slave trade. They traded with the Arabs. There was an old saying, if you're a slave, you want to go west, not east, because you had slightly better treatment in the west than you did in the east. Per the outlet, the Diocese $1.1 million reparations fund was created in 2019. While it is yet to be decided how the money will be spent, suggestions have included scholarships, housing, and health care efforts. Quote, it's going to be a long time moving forward because you have to get a lot of people on board, and it's about cleaning up our hearts, I believe. And just to stand as one, praise dancer Tanika Costello-Stewart said, according to CBS News. She's a praise dancer. Reverend Michael B. Curry, the first African-American presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, recorded a video addressing this issue during the service on Saturday per Gothamist. Quote, "Now some might say that apology is not enough, and to be sure, by itself it's not," Curry said, "but you have been engaged in the work of unearthing our history, unearthing our story, telling stories that had not been told, and telling the pain that has been borne sometimes in silence." Pain born in silence. Well, the Irish went through a lot of pain. They went through the potato famine, faced discrimination in this country, as did German Americans, as I mentioned, the Chinese, the Italians. So everybody at this point, in my humble opinion, everybody should get reparations, because at one point you were wronged by somebody else. That will solve the issue right then and there. Just give everybody $1 million check and be done with it. How about $5 million? How about $10 million? What do you say, U.S. Congress? Give every American $10 million and we'll all be happy. We can all sing Kumbaya. So a quick story for you here at Yahoo in their Life section. The Episcopalian Church of New York apologizes for its role in the slave trade, wants to set up a Reparations Commission. Reparations Commission. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Cultural Confederacy on Twitter at CulturalConfed1. This is the Cultural Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing we call the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time.